Thank you, Charles. I'd like to introduce VAB's Jonathan Williams. So Jonathan has the commitment each year to run the Best of the Best program. I expect Jonathan finds his responsibilities over 12 people probably rather calming, given he's the father of triplets at home. So it's my pleasure to introduce Jonathan.
Thank you, Leonard. Good morning, everybody. So by now, I'm sure everybody is aware of the Best of the Best program. This is going to be the conclusion of our 6th year. And really quickly, what it is, it's an 8-month leadership development program. We try to identify and cultivate the next generation of leaders in the broadcast industry in Virginia. It consists of 4 sessions. All the candidates have to have a minimum of 2 years industry experience and be nominated by their general manager. And we've got some great presentations for you today. So first off, before I call the first team up, I just want to thank a couple people. First off, the Best of the Best committee and the board of directors of the VAB for their continued support of the program. I'd also like to thank this year's Best of the Best alumni representatives. If you guys could just stand up really quickly. Paul McDaniel with Monticello Media in Charlottesville, Brittany Quarles with Radio 1 in Richmond, and J.R. Ruppel with Harrisonburg Radio in Harrisonburg. They did a great job mentoring the teams this year, and thank you for what you did. And then John Whitlow, I believe, is in the room. John, if you could stand up. Where is he? There he is. He's coming in right now. John is the facilitator for our 3rd session and also for this, and he's been with us the entire way. So thank you, John. So with that, I'd like to introduce the first team. And their topic is going to be on recruiting and retaining employees in the broadcast industry. And so we have the media mavens, Tiffany Cobb with Tidewater Communications in Chesapeake, Yasmin Freightman with WVEC TV Norfolk, Brandy Lindsay with Harrisonburg Radio Harrisonburg, and Millie Powers with WWBT TV in Richmond.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today? Come on. There we go. I am Brandy, and today we are talking about recruiting and retaining in the broadcasting industry. And recruiting and retaining is a lot like dating. Who here has heard of Tinder? Oh, okay, a few of you. Good, so not everyone's lying. That's awesome. Well, if you don't know what it is, it's a location-based dating app allowing users to like or dislike others. And if both users swipe right, conversation can begin. And that's what recruiting is. Your company is looking for someone that meets a certain criteria, just like a potential employee out there is looking for a company like yours. Sometimes, and I know this from personal experience, you think you found the right person or company, and you swipe right, and you got a good feeling about it, but for whatever reason, you never get the "it's a match" screen. And then sometimes you both swipe right, the conversation begins, but after a couple of one-directional questions, you realize that this dude really just wants free Florida Georgia Line tickets. And it wasn't exactly the best match. Or maybe you both swipe right and you hit it off, and it's the beginning of this amazing relationship, and then you think, I could spend my life with this person. I haven't been there yet, but I'm hopeful. But just like with any career, in a relationship, you've got to put the work in and the effort, and that's what we're here to talk about. Recruiting and retaining in the broadcast industry. Once we swipe right and get that match, recruiting, how do we keep them invested in the relationship? Retaining.
All right, I know there are a lot of leaders out here today. What are you doing to recruit new talent, or even pull in experienced talent? For many of us, recruitment is an important part of our revenue stream, and I know if a client called you right now to do a recruitment campaign, you'd have all the right answers. What about for our own teams? What about the broadcast industry? Then, once you find and hire that talent, how do you keep them? We've heard all the cliches. It's a revolving door, always snakes in the grass, a what have you done for me lately business. Who would want to work in that environment and stay in that industry? We've researched and talked to people in your offices to see what brought them to our world and what has kept them there. what benefits they're looking for, and what it would take for them to leave so we can avoid that. With this information, we can help answer the question, how do you recruit and retain in the broadcast industry? Hit it, Richard.
The broadcast industry is the best medium to get messages in front of people.
For me, I always knew I wanted to be a writer of some sort, and initially I kind of thought, I was like, okay, maybe I want to do movies or like, fiction TV. But as I was looking at majors and careers, like, okay, news is a little more practical. There's actually a easy market for that because I'm not the starving artist type.
I was always a fan of radio. There was something about that voice coming out of the box and the music and feeling a part of it.
I think I got into the business because there's something about the adrenaline rush of going live on TV. It's just interesting. I always wanted to do it as a kid. It's just one of those things I wanted to try out.
Was intrigued by a mass communications class when I was 14, and we got to choose our electives, and I had no idea what it was about, but it was cameras and all of this, and I was like, that sounds really interesting. So I got into it and I fell in love with it.
Always more money.
Well, obviously, money.
I'd love to be paid more, obviously, who wouldn't?
I mean, it's always like, oh, more money. I mean, it's like if somebody backed up a truckload of money.
Like, we don't even need new titles, just give me a raise. You can call me the same thing, just pay me more.
If all 6 of my numbers hit on one of those Powerball things with 300 plus million, I might consider cutting back to just a couple of days a week.
Location is always key.
Mostly the people.
Good crew, good radio people who know how to do radio and do it right.
A really high mortgage payment. No, I'm just kidding.
Why I stayed in the industry is something I didn't realize. It's more behind the scenes what happens. Little to do with being on TV and more to do with what happens the day leading up to being on TV.
It got into my blood. I love it. It's fun. It's a good way to keep listeners up to date and informed as to what's going on in the community.
It's always been a fun job. There's always been incredible opportunities.
Every single day is new. I do something different every single day.
The fast-paced environment, like I said, it's always changing, and that's very appealing to me. We're never doing the same thing.
We are so open to trying new things and just different approach, more relaxed, more comfortable, more conversational. And I think this is the best time to be in this industry, without a doubt.
Keep a good attitude. Make it a great day.
And now I gotta follow that guy. When it comes to finding love or new employees, variety is the key. And that hasn't always been the case, especially in the world of dating. We mentioned Tinder, but it wasn't so long ago that if you wanted to find your soulmate or your partner, you either got set up by a family member or you hoped that someone in your neighborhood would end up being a good fit. Eventually, dating evolved into much more. Now people join book clubs or kickball teams, and in addition to Tinder, you got your Plenty of Fish, your Bumble, Farmers Only, variety. And we think that recruiting has to be thought of in that same way. If we want to really attract the best potential employees, we have to change where we're looking and how we're courting them. Right, Millie?
You're absolutely right, Brandy. So by show of hands, how many people are going through this right now? Just kidding, please don't answer that. But we all have had experience with this exact issue. So let's discuss some of the ways that we can recruit great talent. So the process of recruiting, schools and educating. Personally, I had no idea there was even a sales department at local TV stations. Education needs to start at a very early age, and station leaders need to make sure to visit high school classes and discuss the various careers and departments.
So I think definitely having a representative, maybe you or maybe a manager, go to a business class or a sales management class like I did, and if you would come into my class and kind of talk about what you did and why you like it, I feel like other people would definitely apply, because I feel like not a lot of people know that we have a sales department at NBC 12.
I totally agree.
So yeah, just go out into the community and make ourselves.
It's very smart. Exactly what Miranda said. We need to provide station tours to high school and college classes. In my junior year of college, my class and I visited a station and took a station tour. It really resonated with me for a very long time to see the talent that you had grown up with, and also realizing all the different departments and careers. When I finally graduated and needed to look for that career, that was the first website that I went to see if they were hiring. They were not, but fortunately enough, their number one competitor was, and I've been working for them ever since. So networking and social media. Our anchors, reporters, and DJs all have a massive following, and we need to start using those platforms and utilizing that in order to constantly discuss how great our company is and how happy they are to work here. With work events, we should all be posting about our work careers and how amazing our job lives are. We want people to say, I want to work there even when we're not hiring. Incentives. So this is for this is for employees who recommend new hires. Most of y'all are probably looking at that saying like, well, that's probably money. And though that is everyone's first answer and response for what they want for that, I asked over 30 coworkers and friends if additional money wasn't in the budget, what else would they like? And the top answers were extra vacation time and just a really nice break room. And internships. And Yas is a really great story with this one.
Yeah, thank you, Millie. So we know that internships are a really instrumental way for anybody to gain field experience, but they can also be gateways to great opportunities. For instance, when I first started in the broadcast industry, I was a few months out of college. I started working for a woman who had a web show about bridal and baby wear, and I was writing blogs and doing editing for that show. But little did I know that she was next door neighbors with the executive producer of a broadcast station in the town I was in. And that executive producer was looking for people who had just graduated from college who could be in a fellowship at the station. And she asked her next door neighbor, my boss, and my boss was like, yes, I know somebody. And so I got an interview, and out of hundreds of applications, I was the one to be chosen for this fellowship. And after 6 months of just going through the fellowship, working in different departments, like with production and with producers, editing, digital assignment desk, I got hired on as an associate producer. So again, great way to gain experience, and then great gateways just to get your foot in the door. So just making sure that internships are useful, and working and making sure that the interns are working all departments so they can narrow down their talents and see where they find their right fit at. And also job fairs are really crucial as well. Just having representatives who are lively, who want to represent your station well, and just show there are many viable opportunities. A lot of people, when they think of broadcast, they think of just reporting, anchoring, but they don't know, like how Millie was saying, like she didn't know there was a sales department at stations. So just understand that, having that person represent sales, marketing, promotions, everything that makes up a station and makes it great. Those are other viable opportunities. And then internal recruiting, just making sure that we are also looking inside to people and understanding the people we have inside our stations, and seeing if they want to take opportunities elsewhere is also really good. So, and then what is the most important thing to put it all together?
To advertise. Pay close attention to this next part.
Hi, I'm insert name here. general manager, program director, account executive, on-air personality, and janitor with the This Is What You're Doing Wrong broadcasting company. Do you love not getting acknowledgement for the hard work you do every day, even though you barely get paid to do it anyway? While sitting at a small cubicle reading seemingly never-ending passive-aggressive company email chains? Maybe you enjoy working while on vacation. Because God, Allah, Jehovah forbid your building be staffed enough to have someone cover for you while you enjoy a daiquiri poolside. And don't forget about all that free food in the break room. Because in broadcasting, we want you so fat, you can't run away from your responsibilities. If this sounds like the right place for you to work, contact Becky with the good hair in HR and come work with us at the This Is What You're Doing Wrong broadcasting company, where everyone's favorite phrase is, that ain't my job. And when it comes to you, we don't really give a fuck.
So that was a bit overly dramatic, but you get the point.
So, of course, you have 5 proven tactics for hiring and retaining, and that would be having a positive company culture, trust among employees, good morale, good environment. People like to work, in a positive culture, positive work environment. Having professional development opportunities, career advancement opportunities, educational opportunities, like the Best of the Best program, defense against burnout, and corporate social responsibility. And we have something, these are good to add to all of your marketing strategies, and we have something that kind of embodies all of this in this next audio file.
And just before we get to that, admit it, we've heard the commercials, we've seen the ads, and maybe, we've heard the buzzwords, self-starters, outgoing, fun, energetic. Maybe those are qualities we look for in a candidate, but with the unemployment rates as low as they are, we need to, and the stereotypes that we are always hearing with the broadcast industry, we have to change the conversation. We need to entice our future all-stars, not with what we're looking for, but with what's waiting for them in a career in the broadcast industry.
Tired of dragging yourself out of bed to go to a job you don't care about? What if your job helped local businesses grow? What if your job involved meeting with decision makers in the community and being a part of some of the area's biggest events? What if you could work with a team that cares as much as you do? The broadcast industry is always changing. A career in broadcast could mean something new is waiting for you every day. In addition to on-air announcers and reporters, the broadcast industry needs graphic artists, engineers, sales associates, news writers, music directors, social media managers, and many others to fill a wide range of exciting, meaningful jobs. Find opportunities for job growth and a quality of life you can live with. The broadcast industry could be everything you were looking for in an industry you didn't know was looking for you. If you have a passion for TV and radio, find a career you'll love. Check your favorite station's website for more information.
Now, we created that commercial based off of direct quotes from people that we interviewed and those 5 proven tactics for hiring. Now that we've gotten to that, let's talk about how and where to get your marketing campaign out. Just as we express the importance of a well-rounded campaign to our clients, we need to practice what we preach. When working on your budgets for next year, add in a line for your own recruitment. Use your own stations. Clearly, your viewers and listeners have passion or interest, and we all know that word of mouth can go a long way. Targeted digital advertising can keep you in front of qualified potential new employees year-round. And lest we forget, good old social media. Facebook has made it easier than ever to use their platforms to advertise. Find young talent and educate them on the opportunities that are available to them in broadcasting. Now, we've gone through the process, we've found them, we've hired them, we've brought them on, let's keep them around.
So now we're going to talk about recruiting, or retaining. We talked about recruiting. But a big part of recruiting actually is retaining. Going back to our whole dating theme, when you start dating someone, you learn about who they were before you came into the picture. Just like with recruiting, you're looking at potential employees and their resumes for any signs of a problem. Those same people are potentially looking at your company, asking the opinion of current employees and maybe even those that are no longer there. How and who you retain is something every company should pay attention to because it says a lot more about your company than you realize.
Give it a good push. Other direction.
Oh. There we go. So how do we retain employees in broadcasting? These are great examples. Acknowledgement of hard work, rewards, and performance-based incentives. Constant training and new challenges. That was actually one of the big things that we heard from a lot of people, is not wanting to feel like they were in a rut, wanting to always be challenged and always have a new opportunity to learn, which also leads to career advancement. Everyone wants to gripe on millennials. They want instant gratification. They move from job to job too quickly. And while all of that is kind of true, a recent study found that millennials who are managers resign 2/3 less often than their peers and job hop internally more often as well. So compared to non-millennials, both groups still want the same end result. Everyone is looking for a chance to grow, but most will prefer to grow with the same company. Feedback is a big part as well. People want to feel their opinions matters and their voices are heard. And on top of it all, aside from, of course, you heard everyone say money, the main thing that everyone said when it came to staying with a company or leaving a company was good people and team effort. Oh.
That's good.
When it comes down to it, I'd love to be paid more, obviously, who wouldn't? But outside of that, specifically in a station, something big that I look for, something I see here, family. Everyone gets along. That's so rare. There's always bad eggs in places where you work. There's no bad eggs here. So how can you ask for anything more than that? Than just an atmosphere where you can not only work and concentrate, but also have fun and enjoy the people you're surrounded by.
Retaining isn't just about keeping employees, it's about keeping good employees. Companies shouldn't be settling for just anyone to get the job done. You should want the best employees you can get working with you and for you, because not only does it make your company better, it makes you look like a better boss, and it helps keep other quality employees around. Most of us work 40 hours a week in radio. That seems laughably low. And it would be much harder to get through all of that if I didn't have other people around me working just as hard, but also making it bearable and making it enjoyable to be at work. And if you don't have good employees helping each other stay motivated and picking each other up, then you have nothing to help fight against one of the biggest reasons employees stick with or leave a company: bosses. We talked with Wayne Leland, GM and VP at Tidewater Communications, and he's been in this industry for over 30 years. And he worked as a sales manager for a while under what he described as a horrid GM. Sales were up, he loved his other coworkers, but he walked away from it all because he couldn't deal with the person above him. Even though Wayne quit, he did use it as a good learning experience, inspiration for what not to do and how not to treat people. The people you work with and for can be a huge factor in whether employees stay or leave. So take the time to find the right people, the hard workers, give opportunities, invest in them, make them feel rewarded for their efforts, and most of all, and this is going to sound a little cheesy, but it's true, look within yourself.
All right, thank you guys. All right. So everyone here has been through the process of recruiting and retaining in some form or fashion, and we hope this was relatable, and we hope you took away some relatable strategies. We have one last thing for you, where we're going to put the spotlight on you guys. So hit it, Richard.
Hit it again. Hey, Brittany.
There we go. So we're going to choose some random people from the crowd.
You want to stand up and turn around?
And what you're going to do is turn around and look at the camera.
Nope, you're not there. Okay. Everyone, can you get a round of applause to Brittany? She's our mentor. There we go. You got a smile in your profile picture. All right.
So, Brittany, what was your biggest takeaway from this project or this?
from the presentation?
As far as recruiting. Sorry, as far as recruiting.
She can't see you.
Yeah, as far as recruiting, what was your biggest takeaway from this presentation when it comes to recruiting employees?
Recruiting. I think to make sure that we're reaching out earlier than later, and I think to make sure that everyone knows every opportunity possible in our stations. Like you all mentioned, on our ads, we're not saying graphic designers and engineers, social media managers, we're not mentioning all of the opportunities in our stations. So I think it's to always recruit and to make sure that every opportunity possible, whether we have an opening or not, they know there's avenues there in case we do have an opening, they're prepared to reach back out to us later on. So. Great job, guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thanks, Brittany.
and because you paid attention, you get this lovely Harrisonburg Radio Group Frisbee. There you go. Change some frequencies, so we got to get rid of them.
And then we have one last question.
Yeah, can we get one more? Yeah.
One more.
Are you going to turn around for the...
I don't think I want to do
Okay.
Yeah, I can't do that. No, guys, I thought it was an absolutely fantastic presentation. You know, one part really hit me. It was actually a small piece in the radio ad that you guys did, the Sirius radio ad that you guys did. An industry that you didn't know was looking for you. So my question to you guys is, you know, what do you think that the single biggest thing that companies need to do differently to educate young, talented people that we are looking for them?
I can actually take this one. I think that we kind of summed it up a little bit, but the awareness is the biggest piece. I was working at a restaurant when I was approached by someone to do advertising for that restaurant, and after conversations, I realized there was a whole world out there and opportunities that are available I never knew about. It's 100% the awareness. I was doing marketing, and now I'm doing it on the other side of the table in a different way, when my entire life I didn't realize that was available for me. So really just awareness.
All
right.
We have no more Frisbees.
That concludes it, you guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
She answered it.